Hello again, welcome back to my channel. This is Margot. This video is going to be about money matters. And so what brought this to me making this video, I was at Office Depot earlier, and I was getting more ink for my printer. This lady at the cash register, she said she really liked my purse. And you know, I told her it's just a generic purse, and that's really, you know, why I like it, because I was trying to find me something that was generic and they didn't have a name brand on it, and it's still a pretty purse. I like the design on it, and my mom, who's with me, she found the little wallet to go with it, and I think I spent maybe around 20 some bucks for the both of them, no more than 30 bucks. So it was a good price, affordable. You know, I told her, you know, where I got it from. I got it from Burlington, the store. And for some of you who know, who have a Burlington in your area, or you may have a store that's similar to that, they usually have good items for a reasonable price, and it's not, you know, priced very high. And it's a good store to go to, especially if you're on a budget, which everyone should be looking into, how to budget their pocketbook, especially in these times we're in now, with inflation and all that going on. But some good things can always come out of these troubling times, uncertain times. There's always something good that can come out of it. And that's what we should have the mindset of, you know, what good could come out of this situation. And me, I believe that, you know, for me, it makes me look at everything, because I'm guilty of it too. You know, spending money on things, you know, obviously you want all these materials, like, oh, I want that, but it makes you dial back, and it's like, okay, do I really need this? And, you know, what good is this going to do me right now? Is this a need? Or is this a must-have? Or can it wait? So, in these times we're living in right now, the good coming out of these past couple of years is, especially during the pandemic, during 2020, I know that was a blow to a lot of people, that they didn't have, everything was just going fine, everything was okie dokie, and then a pandemic happened and people had to stay at home. If they didn't have a job that was an essential, you know, it had to be, your position had to be essential or of some importance, and if it wasn't, you had to stay at home, and people couldn't work, or people got laid off. There was a lot of cuts in the pay, people not getting paid as much. So I know that was a blow to people, and those who didn't have any money in savings. So I know that was a hard lesson for a lot of people who, yeah, they didn't save any money, because they was just spending like there's no tomorrow. And so in these times, I believe that people are really looking at things from a different perspective, and you know, starting to think of ways of saving money and putting back in case of an emergency. So with these name brands versus generic brands, it varies from product to product. Because I know some of you will say sometimes the name brand does matter because of the legal side of things. I know companies have certain patents and labels on a product, you know, to guarantee good quality. And of course, you know, they don't want to get sued, so they don't want to put out false advertisement. And but there's some things you can get away with without having to pay a lot of money for those name brand items. So but yeah, my purse is just a generic purse. And you know, I know people heard the terms clout chasing and trying to keep up with the Joneses and things like that. It's really like, you know, take care of you and your household, take care of your pocketbook. And you know, I mean, there's really no point in clout chasing. A lot of these name brands, you know, the reason why they're so expensive is because you're paying for the name. You're paying for the name. And I know people want to, you know, support their favorite, you know, if it's their favorite athlete or actress, actor, or you know, whatever famous personality it is. But you know, it just really comes down to the point of, is this really worth it, what I'm spending? Because if people can, you know, I would suggest to get the item in your hand if you can, because sometimes you can't do that. You can't really tell if this item is worth it by having it in your hands, examining it, seeing, really feel it, look through it. Is this going to last you a long time? But you do get what you pay for when it comes to certain products. There are certain products you can't get away from spending a little bit more for good quality. But if you're purchasing your stuff offline, it's kind of hard to tell. If you're trying to save some money and go with something that's more generic, you can't really, you know, look at it, you know, because it's not in your hands. It's online. So you kind of had to, you're basically taking a chance on it. So, even when I was at my storage, I was going through a lot of my belongings, and I was trying to organize everything and clean it out. And you really just don't know how much stuff you have until you're going through everything, and it's a lot of stuff. And but messages I've also seen with the synchronicities of numbers is about decluttering, you know, decluttering your space, whether it's mentally or physically. There's a little message here from the You Are Creators channel, YouTube channel, that says, do you know that you can change the energy in your household by moving items around? Clutter blocks the flow of energy. Open space allows energy to flow. Clutter is the physical manifestation of unmade decisions fueled by procrastinations. And boy, that was very heartfelt. Like, I felt that message, and that's what I've been trying to do, is get myself organized and just declutter all the spaces, whether it's in your finances or in your physical space, at your home, in your storage, just declutter. Declutter up here as well, up here in your mind. But the name brand versus the generic brands, that's a case-by-case basis, and it's really up to you and what you're willing to spend. But of course, in these times, we want to spend wisely and learn how to save money. So, let me find that. There's another article that I want to talk about. There's a website called Bible Money Matters, and I really like the key points they have on here about warnings the Bible gives about financial foolishness. And I think there's, every point on here is very vital to moving forward successfully. But I'm going to just start off with these, start off here reading what it says. The first one says here, improper planning leads to poverty. Proverbs 21:5 states, the plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Before you can succeed in other areas of finance, you need to make a plan. This includes everything from making goals to building a budget and having a plan to stay accountable to someone. Diving headfirst into all areas of personal finance without a plan is like trying to build a house without a blueprint. You'll more likely end up with a mess. The second one says, ignore instructions leads to shame. Proverbs 13:18. He who ignores discipline comes to poverty and shame, but whoever heeds correction is honored. If you're reading this, you're one step ahead. Seeking out financial wisdom is the first step in becoming a better manager of your money. The second step is to put the words into practice. Ignore the advice you hear is a surefire way to repeat financial mistakes of others. And I love the part where it says heeds correction. So we all make mistakes, and life is a learning lesson, of course. I love these little reminders that, heeding correction, I believe this is why, in my humble opinion, all of us are starting to see the synchronicity of numbers, and the Most High would use whoever or whatever He wants, whether it's even animals or the nature. They all have certain characteristics and attributes about themselves that can shed some light on certain things that we need to address. So that part, he's correction. All of us need to take heed to what things needs to be corrected in our everyday lives, like in every aspect, like what issues are you having, and what, this is bringing attention to something. We get to the third one here. Debt can really weigh you down. Proverbs 22:7. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. We heard this verse over and over, but it still rings true. If you're getting out of debt, there's a good chance you probably don't want to ever get back into debt again. Take the wisdom from this verse and be careful whenever you approach the opportunity to borrow. The next one says spending can lead to trouble. We know that one. Proverbs 15:27. A greedy man brings trouble to his family, but he who hates bribes will live. When we talk about greed, it's usually referring to excessive desire for wealth or material possessions. How do we get more material possessions? By spending more and more. Obviously, uncontrollable spending can lead to debt, and can really impact your family negatively. Don't worry, this verse isn't saying that you should not stop or shouldn't stop spending altogether. It simply warns against the trouble that greed can bring to your life. The next one here says, the wise will save, the fool spends it all. Proverbs 21:20 says, in the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. The simplicity behind the idea to spend less than you earn is shared clearly in this verse. You don't need to make 6 figures to have a healthy savings account. I know plenty of people who choose or who make those type of figures but don't have a good financial outlook because they've given into a higher lifestyle, spending almost all they make. It's just foolish not to save no matter how much you're making. So these are little key pointers I really liked off this article. And yeah, the material possessions part, like I was saying, when I was going through my storage, just going through all that stuff is very tedious, and you just see just how much stuff you have, and you know, do you really need all this stuff? So again, I just had to talk on that note. I'm starting myself to work, really work on my financial, work on being more financially responsible, and also learning financial literacy, because that's a thing too. So, but yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got on that. I really hope this is going to shed some light on some areas. I really hope this helped someone out there. Yeah, that's all I got on that. I wish y'all the best, and I hope you have a good one. I'll see you on the next. Peace.